welcome back to another video with me today. Today we will be in this video showing how I make our strawberry cupcake candle as we are remaking the old ones. I'm sorry guys, in the video Robin did wake up fairly as this was one day off from work, from nursing, and he decided to hang out with us for a minute. I decided to get him some fruit snacks here so I can continue the video, as he will show out periodically through the beginning of the video, so if you guys can bear with me. So before I get started, here you will see me clear up my space and you will see me begin a custom order that I got from a customer of Dick Popsicle candles. She wanted a combination between white, black, and then two white and black blue ball candle. So I'm just gonna, if you give me a second, I'm just gonna fast forward through and go through those steps while trying to calm Ramen down. I wanted to show everyone what our old cupcake candle looked like. This is the old strawberry cupcake candle, and if you're able to stick around to the end of the video, you will see as we extended our knowledge how our remake of our cupcake candle came out and the difference. So here the first thing I do is start by molding our strawberries that's going to go in our cupcake candle. You want to do this step first, being that when you get to piping and adding the frosting, that you can just easily stick your molds into the frosting. So start by getting some wax, as I do not need a lot of wax for this particular part of the candle, just because we're going to be using molds and they're fairly small. So I'm going to just grab some wax, look for my coloring, which is the dye that I'm going to use, which in this case will be red. And then I'm going to add some dye, and then you'll see me add some fragrance as well, which in this case will be our strawberry fragrance. During our stirring process, again, I like to let everyone know that you don't want to create air bubbles, as it will affect the way that your candle do burn. So you do want to be careful how you stir your wax. And again, I have said this during many other videos before, during your stirring process, you do want to make sure when adding color to white wax or soy wax, it will show up lighter than what it appears. So if you do want to achieve a darker look, you will have to use more product. If you want a lighter look, you would have to use lesser product. So now I'm going to go ahead and start pouring our molds. You want to let this sit for a good 10 to 20 minutes, sometimes depending on how much of the mold is or how big or the size of a mold. You do want to let it sit longer. Some take up to anywhere to 24 hours overnight. Some is done in like 10 to 5 minutes. Others are an hour, 30 minutes to an hour. It all depends on the mold itself. In this case, this one took about 10 to 15 minutes. So I'm just going to sit it aside, and I'm going to clear out my jar, and I'm going to add some fresh wax in. Oh, there goes Robin again, guys. Now that I am done with cleaning my jar, I'm just going to add some more wax. Here I'm going to lay out our cupcake molds. I'm gonna do about 10, but I'm gonna do 2 extra here in the video just because it's easier to do when you're making cupcakes, because you always want to have one extra to burn to make sure that they're burned properly, and you always want to have one when it comes to photo shoot and editing and merchandising. So I do make 12, but I am making 10. Now that I have my wax and my cupcake molds out, I need to find my dye that I need to work with. In this case, when I was on live during this recording, I realized that I was limited on brown dye. So in this case, in order to make a golden muffin, I had to use 3 colors. I had to mix the colors yellow, red, and brown together in order to achieve gold. So you will see me grab those 3 colors, and I will start with my yellow. I'm gonna drop about 28 drops of yellow, about 2 or 3 of red, and then 2 of brown. You don't want the red or the brown to overpower your yellow, as this would change the depth of the color that you're trying to achieve. Once the red dye is added, you will see the color in the mixture change just slightly a little bit. Each time you add a color, you will see your color change. Again, just like in the beginning of the video, anytime when you're mixing, remember your wax is white. So anytime you add a color, it's gonna show lighter than what it appears. So to achieve a darker look, which you will see me add more dye, you have to add more product. And I will apologize to everyone, as my second camera, if you have been here before, everyone knows that I use a second camera. The second camera is currently down. So in order to show you guys a closer up look, I will clip that in as well after you guys watch me from the front view. I will show the side view. After adding all my colors and mixing in my fragrance, this is the color that we achieved. I'm gonna go ahead and just start pouring and filling up my molds. This part used to be very hard in the beginning. Before, with the old candle, I used to take the wick and the wick sticker and stick it inside the mold and then fill them up. But I have a new tool. I have expanded my equipment so much since then, so I found a very easier way. I have a wicker tool and a carving tool, which helps me, which I will show you in the next clip, in the next step, exactly how I set the wick, and it's so much easier. So it used to take me about 2 hours, sometimes a whole day, just to wick my candles, but this literally only took 5 to 30 minutes, which is a lot easier when you have a lot of product or a lot of orders. Here I had ran out of wax, so right now I'm just remaking and running through those previous steps and making my wax to make more product so I can fill up the other cupcake molds. Guys, I promise I'm not cracking up. You guys see me talking to myself because not only am I cueing Robin because he still didn't go to sleep, but I am currently live during this recording, so I am talking to live, as live does have a lot of questions when they do catch me live. Now that we have filled up our cupcake molds, the next step is a little time consuming. I'm going to fill up our jar with some more wax and let it sit and harden. As you can see, I'm explaining to chat until we get this consistency. That way it helps us so we can get ready to pipe. This is how we're gonna frost our cupcakes. So you're gonna fill up your jar with some wax. You're gonna add your fragrance. Once you add your fragrance, you're going to start stirring and mixing your wax and your fragrance. This case, my frosting is gonna be white with the smell of strawberry. Other cases, if you do want to add color or a two-tone fragrance, you would have to make two separate batches. One would have to be the color of your choice, and the fragrance. In this case, I'm just doing it simple. I'm using one color for my frosting, so I'm just gonna use white wax, so I don't have to add any coloring to the wax. I just add fragrance, let it sit to the side, and then I will show you guys exactly the consistency that we're trying to get. You should be able to squish it. It shouldn't be hard. It shouldn't be too runny. Now that we have our wax sitting off to the side, I'm going to go ahead and reveal our strawberry molds. As they are done, again, it only took about 10 to 15 minutes for them to form, but I am going to get up and I am going to show you guys and come closer to the camera and show you guys how they look. And then when I go to the clip, the side clip, you guys will see closer up exactly how they look as well. So these are how our strawberry molds came out. We're just gonna sit them to the side until we get to our piping stage. As I sit our strawberry molds to the side, I am going to sit them to the side in groups of two, as our cupcake candles will have 2 strawberry molds in each. Some will have 3. So because I've been doing this for a while now, you will see me fairly in a lot of the videos and a lot of my lives going forward, cleaning up as I go, just because I like to keep the space, my personal and business separate. I like to keep the space as clean as possible for the kids, as my son was getting ready to get up and start getting ready for school, and just because I have little Robin running around. Here I am going to show you guys a gel wax, as I was going to make a custard look to our cupcake to make a more realistic look. I ended up not going with that, but if you guys do want to see that process, please comment below and let me know, and I can definitely upload. So an hour has went by as I went to lay down with Robin to get him sleep and get my son up and ready for school. As you can see, our wax has formed. It's nice and soft, nice consistency. I will scoop some and show you guys exactly how it looks. It's not hard, it's not formed, it's easy for me to work with. As you can see, this is what our cupcake molds came out, and this is the color that we achieved over an hour. I am going to get ready to start revealing our cupcake molds. Super happy with our base and how it came out, as this is something that changed with our cupcake over time. This is the wicker and the tool that I told you guys about when it comes to putting a wick in our candle. As you can see, that was easy as 1, 2, 3. So what you do is you just heat the needle, you stick it in the middle of your cupcake, and then you push your wick right through. And I normally pre-make all of my own wicks, so I have tools where I can actually make my own wicks, which I found to be a lot cheaper, a lot faster. Sometimes I do order them pre-made, but for the most part I like to make my own. So here you guys will see my son move the camera back, but once the camera is back, you will see me add a bottom piece to my wick, and then boom, that's all it takes for you to wick your cupcake candle. So I'm just going to speed through this process real quick, and after I'm done wicking each candle, you will see the side view speeded up of everything that we just ran through. I'm sorry guys, you will see me periodically keep playing with my hair, trying to find a position that was most comfortable for me, as this was the last day of school as well. It was over 90 degrees that day, and I did not have the cooling system on that morning due to me laying down with Robin, so it was very, very hot, and I was trying to keep all of the equipment and everything very cool and keep our wax at the right temperature. Okay guys, now that we have all of our cupcakes wicked, I'm going to go ahead and show you that close-up side view clip before we get into our next step. Here goes that clip. Hope you guys enjoy. So here in this clip, you guys see the little silver pieces where I'm clamping onto the bottom of my wick to hold my candle in place that you didn't get to see in the other clip. I'm using my wick cutter to clamp it onto tightly to the wick. Now that we are back, we are almost done with our candle. This is last step is very crucial. It has been much of a wait. I thank you guys for being patient through that last clip. But now that we have got our base in our wick and wicked our candle, the next step we're gonna do is piping our frosting. This step is the hardest and most crucial part of the candle itself. I'm just gonna wrap my hair up again. It was 90 degrees that day and I just got the kids settled, so I'm just gonna go ahead and probably wrap my hair up real quick, and then we're gonna jump right into whipping. So first thing first, because my wax was sitting for a second, I'm just gonna apply a little bit more heat with the heat gun, just so I can loosen it up a little bit. Not too much heat, but just a little bit, to where I can whip it a little bit. Now this is where you want to get your whip or your piping bag. You want to set it up. Figure out what nozzle you're going to use. Figure out how to use it and tie it up. Once you pick the nozzle that you desire and you add it to the bag, you're then going to want to have a red cup or something to hold your piping bag as you fill it. Your consistency of your wax, you don't want it to be runny and you don't want it to be too thick. It should run off the spoon very slowly, but not as fast as syrup, if that makes sense. So I just went and grabbed my red cup. I grabbed some gloves because, again, I am allergic to red dye. So when using anything red, or even during this process, I just don't want to get it on my hands, because I do have to touch the strawberry molds. So I'm just going to throw some gloves in here. Here you're going to see me try to squeeze the bag down. Normally the piping bag I normally use is way bigger, but it busts. Just like I explained before, if your wax gets too hard, your piping bag will bust. This bag is smaller than what I normally use. Normally it's big enough to fit around the cup, but in this case it's a little smaller, so I just pushed it down in the cup as much as possible and opened it up as much as possible. Now that you have your piping bag the way you want it and you have the right consistency of your wax, you're just going to see me fairly fill up my piping bag. You don't want to fill it all the way to the top, as you do want to leave some room for you to squeeze at the top and to twist the top, so that way you can have a better grip and control of what you're doing. For me, I find it easiest once I put the wax in to push it down and try to make it look kind of like a carrot, and then I go ahead and place my hands and try to figure out where my hand placement would be was best for me to grip and squeeze, so that way I can control my pour or what's coming out. I'm not the best at piping, but over time I have gotten better. The more I've tried, the better I've gotten, and this has been the best so far. What works best for me is to start in the middle and work my way out and then go around. After a few squeezes and a couple turns and a couple adjustments, voila, here we go. We have our new strawberry cupcake candle. Now during this process, it normally takes about, I want to say, an hour to 3 the most for it to fully harden. It depends on the soy wax or the type of wax in general that you're using. In this case, I'm using soy wax. Normally when I'm doing this, it molds in about 3 hours. Sometimes, depending on the heat temperature in the room, it takes 24 hours. So this is where I want to add in my molds. If you're gonna have a cupcake candle, you're gonna add any type of molds, this will be the time. And bam, this is how the cupcake looked at before and after. Now I'm going to show you guys the side view of everything that we just went through. In this clip, I'm going to show you a front view, and then I'm going to switch to the side view to show you guys really quickly and fast forward through how I made the last two cupcakes and the final results and how the cupcakes came out. I'm very proud at the evolution of this cupcake, as this means so much to me, and it just shows my skill level over time. If you guys have any questions, please remember you can always reach out to me through email, through the website, or you can also leave comments. Thank you. So I did not show during this last clip me frosting every candle. I am gonna frost about 3 of them and put molds into them, and then at the end I will show you guys a bonus photo of me making our banana pudding cupcake candle, and I will show you guys a final result or a photo of all of the cupcakes done and how our strawberry cupcake look. And then I will show you guys a few clips, and then there is a nice video of our Dragon Ball Z shirts. If you haven't got one, please go to the website jroyalcandle.com and get you one. And there's a few clips in there as well for you to enjoy. And if you haven't, please like and subscribe, comment, and I will see you guys the next time on the video. Enjoy.